This podcast is part of the Bomb Pod Media Network.
Is that you making all the noise? Holy oh my god! Holy stop! Stop! Go! Nick, where are you? Jesus Christ, please help me. Hey, Nick! Come on!
You hear that?
That was pretty scary, man.
Well, it should be, because it has absolutely fucking nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
How anticlimactic.
It's just something scary I found I want to start the episode with.
Well,
I don't know where that was taken. I don't know what those people were going through. Obviously something heavy.
It sounded like something horrible.
I do know there was a brick thrown.
Yeah.
And there was a kid talking. Other than that, I don't know.
Was there a yipping dog too? Or was that the kid?
They stepped on a dog when they started running from the ghost.
It was just a dog ghost.
And if you have no idea where you're at right now, this is the Brohio Podcast Show.
Hey, we are back.
I'm the delicious Nicolicious here with Rob Dog.
I am Rob Dog.
Speaking of Rob Dog, I went back and listened to our first episode.
Yeah.
We should have never gone any further than that.
I tried to go back to a couple of them, and
I listened to the first one.
yeah, see, I went back to the Michael Jackson episode, because I was like, I want to listen to this again, but like, I had to stop. I couldn't listen to it. It wasn't because of us. It was because the fucking noise in the background.
Oh,
it was
okay.
the maniacal Satan children in the back. Yeah, they were pretty loud. So if you've listened to those episodes, I do apologize. My kids are crazy.
Fortunately, we've sent them to live at the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, which is actually what we're talking about today.
They're no longer with us. They're in a better place.
They are. Much better place.
At my house.
Well, we have a few things to talk about before we get the episode going.
We do.
We're going to try not to bore you with 20 minutes of nonsense like we did last week. I listened to that as well. It's like 20 minutes of us talking.
I like it.
Trash.
I like
stupid shit.
That's how you know when we don't have a lot of subject matter to cover. No.
We do have a call to action. There's an interesting algorithm on iTunes, and I was sitting down breaking this down this week.
Okay.
When you go to our iTunes landing spot, we have a 5-star average.
Yeah.
And if you have to be above a 4.75 average to keep the 5-star rating.
Okay.
And we're teetering at like 5.8. We have 8 people that have fucking 1-starred us and not left a review.
Nuh-uh, are you serious?
Yeah. So I'm asking you guys, if you have an iPhone, leave us a review on iTunes. Just say,
Sup?
I'm here to drink Zima with my butt.
Right.
Takes 5 seconds.
We appreciate that.
Or if you don't have an iPhone, you can download iTunes on your computer and you can leave the review from there. But we had an influx of reviews the past few days.
Yeah.
Really good ones.
Thank you guys. Yeah, we did. We had some really good couple of past ones.
And it did bump our rating up. So I'm not
awesome.
I just don't want people to come to our landing spot and see a 4.5-star rating, because this is not a fucking 4.5-star rating. This is not a
4.5-star show.
This is not an operation of that caliber. This is a 5-star operation.
Definitely. We're only serving up the best over here.
So just go to iTunes, say you want to drink Zima with your butt, and then from there,
don't we all?
Yeah, that's what we do here. We butt chug here at Brohio.
Yeah,
there's lots of people that want to come butt chug with us. That's fine. That's fine. And speaking of butt chugging, I would like to read a few reviews that we received.
All right,
probably one of the best ones ever. This is from IdleX1. He says, "This is the Van Halen of podcasts. Okay, if podcasts could be rock and roll, these guys are the party band. We should all want to hang out with them. They make you laugh, you have a great time, and they push the envelope and say what we all wish we could. There are 2 things left I'd like to do in life. Do a pile of blow with David Lee Roth and talk smack with these guys. Always a great listen."
That's awesome.
And this one's pretty smutty.
That's a good compliment. I like that.
This is from Ballast. I didn't read the username till now.
I don't think I saw it either.
Balls deep in love.
Oh, yeah.
Balls deep in love.
That's what's up. I like that.
Something between penthouse forums and a healthy splash of weekly world news. Love it and keep it up.
The old healthy splash.
I'll give you a healthy splash,
Okay.
Rob.
I got a good one building up right now.
No. We have some new Patreon subscribers.
Thank you guys very much for giving us your money.
We have a new one tonight by the name of Victor Sevastianenko.
Ooh, that's a fun name.
It is like 107 letters long. Sevastianenko. I think I nailed it. Heather Fant. Heather Fant was one of the original t-shirt buyers.
She's OG, yeah.
She's listened since the beginning. She's got a Brohio tattoo on her neck. She is too legit to quit.
Right.
I need you to understand that. She's
got the butt chug tattoo and everything.
She's got it.
She's awesome.
And we got Amber Sambreno Tai. She was a subscriber early last week on Monday. And these people are getting access to Bro Talk for $5.
And this isn't just your monthly subscription type
This is happening every episode.
We're kicking them out every week.
Last week we talked about 90s stuff.
We did.
We talked about Topanga.
We Kelly Kapowski.
We talked about Rocco's modern life and how I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about Keenan and Kel.
We did some Urban Dictionary on the first one.
Oh, the first one was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
But that one's free to all.
It is. You can check that out.
To everyone.
Through our Patreon. I think it's there, isn't it?
Yeah. It should be. I don't know. I'm not normally awake for these things. We also would like to insert a plug here, a promo.
Insert away.
For a little podcast called Musing While Boozing. Those guys put one in for us. We're going to put one in for them, right, meow?
Musing while boozing, because the best thinking happens while drinking. Hot topics over cold drinks.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Carl.
Do you like to laugh?
And do you love to drink?
Check out musingwhileboozing.com.
We can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Musing While Boozing, where the next round is always on us.
That sounds like a party going on over there.
Yeah, thank you guys for kicking that our way and for
they did one for us. They did one for us too.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. That's awesome.
They sound drunk.
Hey, that's the best way to be. I'm all right with that.
The show's called Musing While Boozing. You just got to go for it.
Hey, might as well.
Just cram it in there. That's
marshmallow it.
That's my grandma's. That's my grandma's motto. What is marshmallowing, Rob? If some of you haven't listened to the Patreon episode, Rob is about to tell you what marshmallowing is. Marshmallowing
is when you are. Was it when you're drunk? You have to be drunk, yeah. When you're drunk and you're trying to smash someone with a floppy.
Floppy.
You still gotta just shove it in there.
Or for some of our more fancier listeners, a flaccid.
A flaccid. Yeah.
She was lying on her back, and I tried to penetrate her with my flaccid.
With my marshmallow.
It shan't work. It shouldn't work.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
We had a lot of people. Well, before we read our article, go to brohiopodcast.threadless.com and you can buy some t-shirts.
Some swaggy merch.
You can buy dildos with our faces on it. So anytime you think you don't like what we're talking about, you can go fuck yourself. I don't mean that. That
was well played.
It's too with my face.
You could shove our faces in your ass.
Just for $7, you can use my real face, but how have we taken it there already?
It's pretty early. This episode's in its infancy, and we're already there.
If you go to the Facebook, you can check out Brohio group, the Brohio podcast group, Butt Chuggers Anonymous. There's so much foul shit on there. I think I'm under investigation by the federal government for the shit that goes on there. I'm getting ready to sell it to somebody because I don't want anything to do with it. I just want to fucking give it away.
If you're the faint of heart, just stay on our Facebook page.
Yes.
Don't look for the group.
We had like a bunch of people send us this article this week, so we're going to read it.
Cool.
I'm going to put it on you right now.
All right.
This is an Ohio story from Austintown.
Of course it is.
A Youngstown State University student from Orwell was picked up in the Austintown Police Department's latest sick sting. I am Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. Have a seat for me. Police said 22-year-old Albert Maruna, looks like marijuana, Albert Marijuana IV, believed that he was talking to a 15-year-old boy online, but it was really an undercover officer.
Aw.
I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If you want to come eat me out from behind. Conversations with Maruna began on December 5th after Maruna responded to a posting on a dating application, according to a police report. The officer told Maruna that he was 15, at which time Maruna responded that he didn't believe in age, according to the report. Police said Maruna's conversation soon turned to the topic of sexual activity, and Maruna sent nude photographs to the officer. And I saw pictures of this guy's mugshot. He's 375 easy.
Ooh, good for
There's
him.
no way he can see that dick on the reg. Even when he pulls the fupa back, he's still not making eye contact with that thing.
He just takes pictures so he can see what it looks like.
He has to hold the camera underneath of him.
He's just a selfie stick.
Oh,
Just take pictures of his
he's a
dick.
selfie stick. Take pictures of his stick. Police said it was evident that he started to develop feelings for the teen boy, as he told the officer, "You are my one and only," and that he'd like to be his husband someday. God, moving kind of quick there, Albert.
I showed you my dick and I can't even see it.
Christ almighty. According to a police report, Maruna tried to arrange a meeting with the officer, requesting that he wear a jock strap during their time together.
What the hell?
Oh, God. There's nothing better than a good old-fashioned jock strap to keep it all together for you. Police said on Tuesday afternoon, Maruna arranged to meet the officer at a location in Austintown, telling him that he is bringing lube,
Ooh.
Sprite, wait for it, and chicken Alfredo. Listen,
I know how you 15-year-olds love Alfredo.
I know that sometimes little boys like you can be a little, how should I say this, frigid. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to whip up some of the finest chicken Alfredo that money can buy.
I hope you like carbs, boy.
I hope you like chicken because I'm about to choke yours.
Oh,
Maruna was then arrested, charged with importuning, disseminating matter harmful or obscene to juveniles, and possession of criminal tools and unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. Police said he was found with the items, including he really brought the shit, including a Tupperware container of chicken Alfredo.
why? What's with the chicken Alfredo?
Police said during questioning, Maruna did not appear to deem having sex with a 15-year-old boy as being wrong.
Oh, all right.
Motherfucker.
Well,
That's so fucking stupid.
can't say I feel too bad for him getting his chicken Alfredo beat out of him in prison.
Really what I wanted to do is I just wanted to eat this off your chest. I'm clearly too fat to have sex. I just
Oh,
want to
man.
eat. Although, have you had the chicken Alfredo at Olive Garden before?
it's pretty banging.
I would probably reach out to a 15-year-old for a bowl of that. Or wait a second. That's not how that story worked.
Let's redact that.
I would fuck a fat guy
Yeah, right.
for chicken Alfredo from Olive Garden. But I get to put the cheese on with the little crank wheel.
Ooh, yeah.
I get to put the cheese on.
Right.
When next time you get to Olive Garden
They're skimpy with that, man.
and they say, "Would you like cheese on this?" Just like reach out and put your hand on their hand. And
Like
say,
your arm's gonna get tired
yeah,
if you want to.
say, "I'll take this."
Yeah.
Come back after your smoke break, after you're done with that Black and Mild in the parking lot,
Just bring us a whole wheel of cheese.
and I'll be done with the cheese.
Right.
We are covering the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum this week.
We are.
This place is completely terrifying.
Yeah. I before we get into it, I do want to bring something to say something here.
Okay.
Something I was telling you about. Well, I didn't actually tell you about it, but something I wanted to go into. There's some new breaking news with one of our favorite people, Mr. Tom DeLonge.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw it or not.
He's a little scary.
He is. He was out there. Still is. But check this out. So Tom DeLonge, if you don't know, he is the former frontman singer from Blink-182.
Never heard of him.
He is a
Never heard of her.
he's a huge UFO enthusiast.
The biggest.
Yeah, he believes that that he's been abducted and he's seen aliens and
Oh, he thinks the government has entrusted him with
with
the
secrets.
knowledge.
Well, speaking of that knowledge, a lot of stuff's coming to fruition now.
Oh, great.
So he is the CEO and he's pretty much the main dude for this company called To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Now, amongst DeLonge is this man by the name of Louis Elizondo. I believe it's how you pronounce it. I might be wrong. Now, Mr. Elizondo is an ex-military officer, he's an intelligence officer who headed a secret Pentagon UFO program.
Sure he did.
So he's legit. Like, he worked for the U.S. military. Now, since partnering with him, the Stars Academy has released 2 declassified U.S. military videos in an attempt to provide evidence of UFOs. According to the Academy, the footage, this is in quotes, comes with crucial chain of custody documentation because it is a product of the U.S. military censors, which confirms it is original, unaltered, and not computer generated or artificially fabricated.
That's not scary at all.
While, see here, and this is still in quotes, while there have been leaked versions on the internet, the COC establishes the authenticity and credibility that this version is the original footage taken from one of the most advanced sensor tracking devices in use. Now, both of these videos are from 2004, and they come from the U.S. Navy FA-18 Super Hornet aircrafts. You can find those videos. I actually watched them before I came over here.
Are they lit?
They're pretty sweet. Like, you can see the actual they go through the they have like all the sensors and all like the altimeter and everything. Like, it has everything on the screen. And it goes through and it tells you what each thing is.
Right.
And then in the middle you can see the craft, which is like a cylinder shape, like a dome shape.
Oh no.
And it's like doing like somersaults in the air and shit. And these guys have no idea what it is. Like, they're following it. It's pretty cool. Also, though, at the time that these videos were, that they released these videos, the New York Times and Politico reported that the Pentagon has a secret $22 million program investigating unidentified aerial phenomena. So this is the same day they released these videos that it's reported that, you know, they're investigating this already.
Some pretty heavy shit.
Yeah, so they were already investigating this previous to them releasing the videos, which is kind of cool. Elizondo was the one who oversaw the secret program and when he was in the military, and this was called Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. It's AATIP. So this it seems to be pretty truthful so
pretty
far.
Legit.
Yeah, we'll see how
he's finally right about something.
He's getting there. Aliens exist.
Maybe. Maybe.
We'll see.
I don't know necessarily about his credibility. I've had sexed a few of his songs before.
All the small things.
Yeah, that's the anthem in my bedroom.
It really the same.
Sorry, guys.
I love it.
So let's move on to the
subject at hand.
The subject at hand. We're talking about the transvestite Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Looney Bin.
And of all the places that this nut house could be, it's in West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Have you ever been to West Virginia before?
I don't think so.
I don't know if we have any West Virginia listeners out there. I used to work a job that required me to travel a little bit. And West Virginia is like a fucking outer space, okay? I'd have to drive around and look for water sources. We need water for the rig I worked on.
Okay.
And West Virginia is just fucking mountains and nothing and trees and people running around trying to kill deer. That's all it is.
Okay.
And I drove down this road once and I had to come back to get out of the fucking hole I was in. And on the way in, there's this house that looks like The Hills Have Eyes type shit. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's fun.
Fucking bathtubs in the front yard. The gutters caved in the front. There's no front door. There was just like a wavy trash bag. And then there's like a huge pile of fucking debris, like, you know, tires and shit. And when I'm coming back out, this guy comes dragging his dead ass out of the house, and he flags me down. I'm thinking, oh, hopefully this guy has a pond in his backyard, and he wants to give me some water. No, he says, from about 30 feet away, he starts making the motion to, like, roll my window down, like crank the window, because people don't do that. Kids these days, they don't know what that means, and you have to crank the window down. So I crack my window. I'm like, yes, sir. And he says, I saw you driving by, and you had your eye on my tires over here, and I don't fucking like it.
What?
He said, sir, I assure you, I want nothing to do with your mosquito-infested tires. You have a blessed day.
Oh, man.
So that was my West Virginia experience.
So that's your expectation for all of West Virginia?
I don't know. I don't know if they have internet in West Virginia. I think they do. What's that? Morgantown? That's a pretty big place, right? Or is that's Pennsylvania?
I don't know. I don't know anything about West Virginia. I'm not even going to pretend like I do.
All right. Maybe next time. We'll
I know it's not terribly far from us, but
no, it's not. Completely different world, though.
Yeah. The asylum itself, it was one of West Virginia's first public institutions as well. It was. They started building it back in 1858. So this is an old beast, with work being done by good old prison laborers.
Mm-hmm. And they had all kinds of trouble getting this bitch up.
Yeah, it was I believe it's this, because it still exists to this day. And I think from what I remember, it's like the second largest hand stone like built building in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Good little snippet of interesting shit right there, Rob.
Yeah. So it's pretty huge place. So
they were building this about the time a little conflict in America, nothing like the conflict we have going on right now, but a little conflict called the Civil War was cracking off.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So they had to keep on stopping.
Yeah.
And at one point, they actually used it to house Union soldiers, and the Confederate soldiers raided it twice. Once they stole a bunch of money. The other time, they took all the food and blankets in the bitch. Another time, they burned the motherfucker down.
Aw.
Now, the asylum is near Weston, West Virginia, which is the hospital itself is the asylum itself was formerly known as the Western State Hospital.
Weston,
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. It did serve as a sanctuary for the mentally ill in the mid-1800s. In the middle of the 20th century, there were over 2,400 patients within the walls of the building, with the maximum capacity being 250. Now, me speaking from experience, I worked in a prison that was 3 times its capacity.
Yeah.
And it was the most miserable fucking thing that a human being could ever possibly go through.
Right.
And this motherfucker, was it about
717 is how many it housed when it was supposed to house 250.
Sheesh.
So it's definitely going to be an uncomfortable situation to live in.
And I listened to some other podcasts, and I listened to some YouTube stuff. And another reoccurring fact was the acreage.
Yeah.
666.
666 acres.
It's the mark of the devil.
Once builders finished it up, that's how much land it took up, which is kind of
It means absolutely nothing.
a little foreshadowing there.
Now, you have to think about colonial America when you speak in the terms of mental health, dealing with mental health in this era, because you did have a lot of 1850s, 1840s, 1860s. That's not far removed from colonial times in America.
Yeah,
obviously, and they had no fucking clue how to deal with people that had mental health issues. They just assumed they were crazy shitheads.
Right.
Put them in a hole and cover them up.
and just forget about them.
Yeah. Incredibly sad.
Yeah, it's a horrible time.
When an early colonist came to North America, they brought their own world beliefs with them, most of them being what we would consider to be archaic. We know this from episode 18, the Salem Witch Trials. You can go back and check that out in the Brohio podcast catalog.
Yeah.
The treatment of someone who was mentally ill or insane was completely unheard of. If an individual was considered insane and had no friends or family to account for them, they would most likely be placed in prisons with common criminals.
Right. And that's usually what happened whenever.
And this lunatic asylum we're talking about here, we will cover the things that people were put in there for, but you could just fucking show up
for anything pretty
and
much.
drop somebody off.
Yeah.
You could drop somebody off for they were reading too much.
Yeah. It's if you wanted to just do away with somebody for any reason whatsoever, it's just as simple as dropping them off.
There you go.
We'll take them.
Have fun. They're going to stick some shit in your head.
We're 3 times filled up, but 3 times over population, but it's cool.
In these colonial times, they would oftentimes chain these individuals to the walls and they'd leave them naked, and it didn't matter of the temperature or, the surroundings. They just leave them there and
they're going boom, boom all over themselves.
laying there in their own shit.
Yeah.
Which laying in your own shit isn't that bad. I do it all the time. You should try it. Really helps with
I've been there for, office marathons. Like, I ain't getting up.
Yeah. And the families, oftentimes, they weren't really concerned about the ramifications of what would happen if they dropped the people off. They just wanted to get rid of them for the embarrassment of the family, for having a crazy person in their family.
Yeah.
So they were just shutting them for having something wrong with them. Facilities for mentally ill individuals began to come out in the 1770s, but they were actually places designed to isolate the mentally ill, keep them away from society. There was no rehabilitation, no treatment, and no assistance in possibly reassimilation to society.
They're prisons, essentially.
Yeah, just bring them and drop them off. And now we have a little list here.
Yeah, these are fun.
Of some of the things that people were admitted to Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum for.
They're ridiculous. So the first one right off the bat, kicked in the head by a horse. Then we go imaginary female trouble.
Hold on a second.
So
all you motherfuckers that are listening to us in your mom's basement, they're going to Christmas next week, and your family's going to say, "Oh, how are you doing? Do you have a girlfriend?" And you're going to be like, "Yeah, I've got a girlfriend." Your imaginary internet girlfriend doesn't count. And if this was 1860, we could put your sorry sack of shit ass in a lunatic asylum.
Explain this next one to me. Uterine derangement.
Listen, my wife has broke this down for me before. Their bodies go through some exceptionally extreme things once a month. And I don't know how we hit the lottery on that one to not have that happen to us.
So, I mean, are they suggesting that?
Oh, this is definitely menstrual related.
Yeah. So if it's longer than 4 days or 5 days,
premenstrual. Well, I mean, I would think at that time that wouldn't be an official term used, you know, to describe something.
So if you have abnormally harsh or abnormally long periods, you're getting locked up.
I don't think it's the period itself. I just think it's the premenstrual syndrome.
Okay.
You know, the imbalance and the hormones once a month. Listen, I don't know how it works. I just know it sucks.
I don't know anything about it.
And I know they hurt really bad, and you have to get them heating pads and give them Tylenol.
Yeah.
And chocolate, and you have to rub their back.
And be extra nice.
And put Reese cups in their mouth. And they get really upset if you try and have sex with them. I don't know why it's like that. That's just the way it works, Rob.
Now, I'm 31, so this next one doesn't apply to me.
It just says
masturbation for 30 years.
That's all it says.
So is it from when you've been masturbating for more than 30 years, or they sentence you to 30 years of masturbation?
And if you listen to our Gypsy Rose episode, that guy jerked off in a parking lot for like 12 hours.
Yeah, with McDonald's Wi-Fi.
He's got nothing on 30 years.
then we got suppressed masturbation, and then tobacco and masturbation.
You've never smoked a cigarette and jerked off before?
You're just jerking it with a tobacco leaf.
What the fuck, man?
This is the heyday right now.
And you got medicine to prevent conception.
Conception, yeah.
Immoral life.
Okay.
They would listen to 10 minutes of one of our episodes.
We'd be admitted so fast.
We'd be up in that motherfucker. Like, where's the fucking Zima?
Hereditary predisposition.
God.
Parents were cousins.
Yeah, that's true. Because anytime you go, inbreeding and shit, you're fucking up the gene pool, man.
Jeez. Watering it all down.
Let's see. Death of sons in war.
That's sad.
Decoyed into the army. Desertion by husband.
Oh.
That's not fair. Your husband leaves you.
Your husband leaves you and you get admitted.
Yeah. Rumor of husband murdered.
Just the rumor. We know it was you.
Fell from horse in war. That's not fair either.
Jeez. Asthma.
Oh, Jesus.
Shooting of daughter.
Overtaxing mental powers.
Young lady and fear.
What
does that even mean?
I don't know. Loss of arm. You get put in the mental hospital for losing your arm.
That can't go hand in hand with the masturbation one.
Listen, this is something that...
Bad whiskey. You're making bad whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Disappointed affection.
Aw, that's sad.
Milk fever. Novel reading.
Fighting fire.
What the fuck?
See, this, like we said, you can literally get admitted to these places in the 1800s for anything.
And another problem they would run into, you wouldn't necessarily have all mental subjects. You would have criminals mixed in with mental health patients, mixed in with children who were just dropped off because their family didn't have the fiscal means to take care of them. Just think about how toxic of a mix that would be. And this place was fucking huge. I mean, it was a sprawling fortress. And the architecture, the best way to explain it, it's pretty standard for those asylums from that era. It's like a Batman insignia. That's kind of, it's like the shape of a bat. That's how the building looks. And I think the one that's almost as popular as this one is Waverly, like the Waverly Sanatorium.
Yeah,
that's the kind of the same architecture that they use for that one as well.
And going back to the crowd population there,
population.
the inmate, I'll say the inmate population, because it's essentially what they are.
God.
In, like I said, in the 1800s, the 1880s, they were like 3 times, past their limit for the amount of patients they're supposed to have. Going into the middle of the 20th century, we're looking at over 2,400 patients within the walls. And keep in mind, this is 2,400 people when the max capacity was 250.
Doesn't seem that bad.
So they're packed in like sardines, and living conditions have to be atrocious.
I did do some reading that there was one of the main problems you had was staffing. They said somewhere around 20% of the actual staff required to care for that many people. So you got hundreds of people per employee. That doesn't work out very well.
Yeah, it's not going to work out well at all.
Right. And then apparently in 1935, this seems like some shit Rob would do. A patient started a fire and burnt down a portion of Ward 6. And instead of ringing the fire bell and, sounding the alarm to all the patients to tell them to get the fuck out, one of the nurses rang the dinner bell, which transferred 390 patients calmly to another building. One patient was trapped inside the fire due to them being asleep at the time of the bell ringing, but they were rescued by fire services.
So that may have been actually something good, because
no one died in that fire.
Yeah. So if they would have rang the fire alarm, I would assume that all hell would have broke loose.
I don't know. When they used to ring the dinner bell in prison, hell would break loose.
Yeah.
Out of fucking control.
Yeah.
Now, speaking in terms of what was going on at this place, this was an epicenter of the practice of lobotomy.
Oh, yeah.
Which
we got into that with the insane asylum at Athens.
Yeah. So I forget the doctor's name. He was a traveling doctor.
Dr. Death.
Dr. Death.
Yeah.
We're calling him Dr. Death.
That's I don't know his real name, but that's what they called him, was Dr. Death. He would do like 5 or 6 a day.
Yes.
Travel the country.
He would just take an ice pick and go through the patient's eyeball with them wide awake and essentially
right into the frontal lobe and just spin it around.
Swirl it around.
Yep.
Like a milkshake, like a frappe.
Like a McFlurry.
Shake it like a salt shaker. And when this would happen, it would essentially turn these people into zombies.
Yeah. Because I believe your frontal lobe, I believe, is what pretty much controls all your motor functions. And
a low functioning zombie.
Yeah.
The people would still be alive. They could still eat, barely. They could still stand there while you got them dressed. But they no longer had the, I guess, persistent mental health issues that they were concerned about.
They didn't have their personality.
Maybe someone needs to do that to me. I'd be a lot better off.
We'll work on that after this.
Yeah. They originally said it was going to be $115,000 to rebuild and fix the damage
after the fire.
But that price did eventually double, $330,000-ish. That's not that much money in today's.
Not at all. They say if you actually in the building, you can actually see the smoke marks from the fire in that south ward.
In the words of Dr. Dre, smoke weed every day. And in 1938, like we said, that the number that it cost to rebuild was actually doubled. when they would speak about the population, according to medical reports, the population was strictly epileptics,
Epileptics.
epileptics,
That's a fun word.
alcoholics, drug addicts, and non-educable mental defectives.
Oh, okay.
Completely all PC.
Yeah, right.
Not really worried about it. You
Yeah.
know? Just the fucking degenerates of the world. Here you go. All in one spot.
Of course.
At the peak of the hospital in the 1950s, the population had nearly doubled again, and the hospital, now known as the Weston State Hospital, was home to more than 2,600 patients,
It's insane.
which is 10 times more than the number it had been built to comfortably hold. You can't be stacking and packing like that, man.
Yeah, not at all.
That's such a bad environment.
Yeah.
The one of the local newspapers, the Charleston Gazette, published several reports in 1949 that revealed the poor sanitation and lack of furniture, lighting, and heat within the buildings. The population of the hospital's patients began to decline in the 1980s, but the treatment for the patients never got better. Patients who could not be controlled, in quotations, they would oftentimes be locked in cages.
Ah, it's so sad.
I think that should be a practice we still do with our children, but we don't, thankfully enough.
Crate train them.
Quit pissing on the carpet. In 1994, it was finally shut down.
Good riddance.
And they have built a new one since then. It's probably a heaping pile of shit like this one.
Yeah, it's
not as bad.
This is the William R. Sharp Jr. Hospital.
Yeah.
It's built on the hill behind the Weston Hospital.
But there was all kinds of awful stuff that happened at this place. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're going to move into next. There were a lot of hospitals. Not a lot of hospitals. A lot of cemeteries. There were 3 cemeteries there. And the weird thing about these cemeteries, there's thousands of people buried there, but it's reported none of the graves are identified. You have to be family, and it has to be requested through the government in order to find out the certain names of people and where they're buried at. The last person buried was in 1962. It said that maintenance workers would remove the head markers and bury them with the bodies inside the coffins. The reason that they wouldn't identify the people is they'd say that they didn't have family or friends or necessarily just anyone that would be willing to pay for the burial.
Yeah. They didn't have the money to have a normal service or burial.
And oftentimes these people would have infectious or contagious diseases, and the belief was that they would still be contagious even after they died.
Okay.
Yeah. And others were just cases of not knowing who the fuck the person was. It was just mistaken identity because they were dealing with such high numbers of deaths because there were experiments going on there. They were doing a lot of stuff with trying, I guess, the progression of treatment for mental health issues, which included the lobotomies, included, them being injected and subjected to certain chemicals. But people were dropping left and right there. There's nothing official to say exactly what they were doing there, but I know that there's, to a certain extent, there had to have been some government involvement as far as testing certain things and making bad things happen to people. A small number of individuals became Philippi mummies. Meaning these bodies went to the Western Virginia University to be researched, and their names were unknown. And enough with all this fucking boring shit.
Yeah, let's get to the spoopy.
Let's get into the scary stuff.
Yeah. So, we've already mentioned a little bit about the patients being in cages and things like that.
You not only had to deal with, in the paranormal aspect, you not only have to deal with the people that were mistreated, you have to deal with a lot of, I guess, nurses and doctors that are kind of stuck. They feel like they have unfinished business.
Yeah, there's a lot of death, and a lot of the death attributes to the paranormal aspect of it, of course, which you would think.
And another one you have to deal with are the soldiers from the Civil War there was a lot of conflict there from the Civil War, and a lot of these soldiers are said to haunt the area as well.
Like we said, those were a lot of them were housed there while it was being built. So it's got a good little history there.
All kinds of cry shit.
So we have different instances here of, patients killing other patients. Asylum worker were murdered. Many females workers were raped. In one case, even a nurse went missing while on duty.
This one's good.
And her rotting body was actually found 2 months later at the bottom of a stairwell in an obscure corner of the building. So it took them 2 months to find her body.
Please riddle me why you wouldn't smell something like that long before 2 months.
Not that I know, but I hear the smell of death is horrible.
Yeah, I've smelled a 2-week one before, and it was.
I mean, I've smelled formaldehyde before, but
there is no
working in the crime lab,
and it just sticks.
That's what I hear. It sticks to you.
You have to go home and take a shower.
Yeah.
So this is god awful.
Yeah.
But one of the officers I used to work with, he taught me that whenever you're in the presence of a decomposing dead body, that one of the best things you can do for yourself is breathe through your mouth the entire time, and don't swallow your saliva. You just kind of and then anytime you get the fresh air, you spit out the shit. So
you just carry a spit can with you.
Brohio Nation, keep that in mind.
Hey,
if you're ever in the
who's to say we don't give any good advice?
We're just here to help.
That's it. So, of course, these are going to be some of the reasons why there's so much paranormal activity. It was also common for the staff to hear squeaky wheels of gurneys rolling down the empty hallways.
Shit.
Different like throaty moans and like crazy laughter.
Now I think right now is a good time to throw an EVP. This is a ghost hunting group, and they're calling out to the ghosts, and they hear nurses, because these sound like clods, like kind of shoes that a nurse would wear.
I believe it's just two people as well.
Right.
You'll hear two sentences. I don't remember what the first sentence is, but after the first one, you can hear in the background like what would sound like a high-heeled nurse's shoe.
The audio equipment is actually making like a
yeah.
So that's not what you're listening for. You're hearing
it's distinct.
You're hearing footsteps,
and it's oddly slow as well. Slow footsteps. So
we'll put that in there for
check
you.
It out.
Can you tell us your name?
No.
My name's Bill Wilkins.
How many of you are in here?
Did you hear it?
God.
I heard it.
The scariest part about all of that is just how slow and methodical the footsteps are.
It's
like they're being stalked.
Kind of taunting. Yeah, this menacing.
Being stalked.
I like it.
And while we're here, let's just go ahead and throw in another EVP.
Sure, why not?
This one, I didn't let you listen to this one.
Oh, okay. Surprise.
I think it says, well, some of these are not necessarily EVPs. I think this might be one of the ones that use ghost boxes. Are you familiar with a ghost box?
I'm not. Tell me.
They take, it's a device. Thomas Edison tried to make one. You're laughing because you think I'm making this shit up.
No.
I think I'm about to make a dildo story.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking of
a ghost box.
I'm thinking of a ghost box.
I destroyed that ghost pussy. I was putting my pee all up in that ghost box V.
Oh man.
A ghost box is like a device used like an AM FM radio device that and it picks up certain waves, unlike an EVP. EVP is like an electromagnetic. You can hear it,
right?
Whereas these are more like a feeling, like it's hard to explain.
The energy.
The radio is picking up the energy essentially, and then it records what the radio plays. And oftentimes, these waves that are picked up, you can hear them clearly saying certain things. Like one we have, it says, "Fuck you." You can hear this ghost like, I would have to imagine that would be the norm for a place like that, with people that, just didn't want help, bringing them, here's your peanut butter sandwich, Mr. Wilkins.
Fuck you.
You know?
I've been sitting in my own shit for days.
Yeah. So here's I think this is the one where they say water is God.
Yeah, I've heard this one.
Completely fucking ominous and terrifying. So here we go. And these are just the bitches talking. Did you hear it right there?
Okay, yeah, I did hear it.
Water is like God.
Yeah,
Here,
let's we'll play just that part. It's right at the beginning.
Water is like God.
Well, yeah,
That's terrifying.
it is.
Water is like God, though.
Yeah.
Water has caused many wars.
Yeah, you can make beer with water.
You can make semen is 99% water. Did you know that?
I didn't.
And my wife today was making ham, and she needed a lot of pineapple juice.
Yeah,
And she said, if you drink a lot of this, your spunk will taste better.
that's what I heard.
And I've never heard her say spunk in the entire decade we've been together.
Spunk.
I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Repeat yourself. What the fuck? What did you just
Wait,
say?
wait. Rewind this a little bit.
If you drink this, it will help with the taste of your spunk. I'm like, well, great.
Okay,
'Cause
Grandma.
This stuff has really tasted like shit for as long as I've been eating it. And I'm, really hoping to sweeten the deal a little bit.
I've always been self-conscious about the taste of my spunk.
And there was one individual here at the insane asylum by the name of Ruth.
Oh, Ruth.
The ghost of Ruth. Ruth is purported to hate men. Okay, so she completely fucking hates men.
Don't we all?
Are you the motherfuckers that come in here to play with my titties again? Did you bring me a goddamn cigarette? I was really needing a goddamn cigarette. Come here and touch my titty. Shut the hell up. There's only room for one demon on this podcast, and that's Bill Wilkins. We ain't got no room for no cigarette smoking demon named Ruth. There's only room for Bill Wilkins. And I'm 73 years old and I died my own shit. I think you fail to understand that I was sitting in my chair and I died my own shit.
Old Bill and Ruth. They hate their own show.
Bill and Ruth, I think they should make a Patreon episode.
I'm
sure.
all about it.
And speaking in terms of today's investigations, Ruth is exceptionally vengeful. She takes out her anger by poking and pushing male visitors, and she'll actually slam them against the wall.
Mm.
Maybe she's just looking.
She's just a rough fuck.
Cruising for some D.
Yeah, she's.
Think about a name like Ruth. She probably got some mass to her. She probably throw her weight around.
She's hefty.
I didn't say that. She
Boys need to send Bill Wilkins over here again.
yeah.
He really knows how to flick a bean. I want some of that demon dick.
But she's just one of the ghosts.
more
Why
known.
don't you tell us about the most well known?
I was gonna say, the most well known of the spirits that we have here in the old loony bin. It's a young girl. Her name is Lily. Now she wanders the halls looking for a playmate,
and she is very notable. She actually, she's like a goddamn circus monkey. Every single time people go there to this place, she performs.
She's everywhere,
and she has her own room there still.
Yeah, she was and this isn't exactly fact. This is like a legend type deal. Not her, but the fact that she was supposedly there most or all of her life within the walls of the lunatic asylum.
She's got a god awful backstory.
Yeah, she's supposedly the daughter of a previous inmate by the name of Gladys Ravensfield. Now, Gladys was admitted to the asylum. She supposedly was dropped off by her husband after being attacked and raped by a group of soldiers during the American Civil War.
And the soldiers got her pregnant during the rape.
Yeah. And in 1863, she gave birth to a child, which the staff named Lily. Now, Gladys, of course, was never well enough to take care of her baby and was eventually driven to madness by her experience.
Do you know the funny story about why they named her Lily?
Why is that?
There isn't one. I just trying to get you all fucking psyched up.
That's sad. I was ready for it.
Yeah. So were the listeners.
Now, possibly because Lily was, the product of rape, she was never fostered or adopted, but she had to remain one of the inmates in the asylum herself.
They also said that the soldiers that raped her mother were brothers. So it was almost like she was kind of, she's almost like an incest baby.
That's sad.
She had a butthole on her neck
Ooh.
from the incest.
Ah, okay.
And they said that sometimes when she got really excited, she had a tail and it would pop up and she could jerk it off. I just made all that
I
up.
was so wondering where you were going with that.
Just made up all that.
That poor little girl. Now she did pass away young. I'm trying to put this train back on the tracks here. She did pass away while she was young. Of course, she was 9 years old at the time of her death.
She jerked off her tail. She could jerk it off.
It killed her.
Yeah.
She pulled it off.
She pulled her tail off while she was jerking it, and then she died.
Lily, you gotta loosen your grip.
She's back there. She spread her little 9-year-old butt cheeks.
Oh man,
looking for her tail.
Oh gosh,
she might not be real, so it's okay to talk like that.
I guess that's true. Yeah. To this day, visitors, they often try to communicate with Lily by asking her, of course, which is what you do to most kids, ask her to move toys or play some music on her music box.
I can play some music on my music box. You guys ever seen a tail on a kid before? See my tail? She still has a room, and it's...
Yeah, they have toys set out, and it looks like a playroom.
There's like these, like play balls in there, and anytime you try and coax her into moving stuff, she'll make the balls, she'll roll the balls around.
I'm just gonna smack this ball with my tail.
I can smack this ball around. And there was some investigators there. They took a box of Cracker Jacks with them. They took the Cracker Jacks and they laid them on the table. This is a true story. This is not me making something up again.
The Cracker Jacks.
And they're like, we brought you some snacks. We brought you some snacks there, Lily. And they said they could hear the Cracker Jacks. They could see the box start to spin around a little bit. And they could hear the wrinkling and the crunching of the foil inside the Cracker Jack box. Like someone, had their hand in the Cracker Jack bag.
And with some fucking goodies.
Yeah. But it wasn't opened up, so it was just spinning around.
Oh fuck! How do you open it? I can't get it.
I know I'm a ghost, but can you help me open this box of Cracker Jacks?
My tail just isn't getting in.
Yeah. I don't like Cracker Jacks, man. I think they're fucking disgusting.
I used to love them, and I tried them not too long ago, and I'm kind of indifferent now.
Yeah,
it's sad.
Just like there was
It's not like a Yoo-hoo.
There's currently a dispute going on. The Brohio group right now about moon pies.
Oh, yeah.
I love moon pies. These people don't like them.
I like oatmeal pies.
It's right. Love them.
Yeah.
Oatmeal cream pies?
I'm an old fuck, though. Yeah.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
You got to try dipping them in milk.
My pappy got me to love them when I was younger.
Yeah. And another thing that I showed my kids this week, the cinnamon Eggos, the miniature cinnamon.
Yeah.
You toast those and you put peanut butter on them while they're still hot.
Ooh.
And this shit will change your life.
That sounds pretty sexy. I like that.
I have no idea where we're at as far as our notes.
I do.
Okay.
Going next after Lily, there's another spirit. Goes by the name of Jacob. He's rumored to be a soldier from the Civil War. He's they usually say they spot him walking the corridors at night.
He's got hemorrhoids.
Yeah. Other soldiers are also seen to be walking up and down the hallway, so it's not clear if they were, shell-shocked soldiers admitted for treatment, or, if they were ghosts of the soldiers that were in the area of the time.
Just walking around looking for some preparation H.
Yeah.
Trying to get some cream on them fucking balloon knots.
I'll walk around, I'm looking for some cream from my butthole. Hey, maybe that girl with the tail over there can help. Hey, little girl. Help me. You help?
Maybe the old lady with the big tits can help too.
The nurse.
Ruth.
Don't think about it, boys. I just need a goddamn cigarette.
The names here are funny as heck too. So the next one on the upper floors, supposedly there's spirits of at least two vicious murderers. One is named Slewfoot, who is a cunning, psychotic, murderer. I guess was
Old Slewfoot.
He lashed out in the lavatory.
The way he would kill his victims is he would talk them into some good old fashioned fisting, and then he would just okey doke him and cram his whole entire foot in there, start tearing out organs and shit. That's why I call him Old Slewfoot.
Oh yeah,
Goofoot, Slewfoot.
Goofoot. Ooh.
There was one situation. It was a murder that occurred where the inmates decided they had enough shit of another inmate. I'm sorry, we keep calling them inmates.
Yeah.
Two patients decided they had enough shit of another patient, so they said, we're gonna fucking hang this guy. So they took a bed sheet and they put him above the bed and they try and hang him and they can't quite get it done. He won't die, so they get him down and they put a bed frame on his skull.
Oh geez.
And then one of the patients gets on top of the bed and just starts fucking House of Pain on that motherfucker, just jumping up and down, jump around, and they crushed his skull and they killed him.
This is Dean.
Yeah, and this is just one, and there was constantly people being murdered because the patients were completely unattended to. They were left to, it was essentially like a Wild West. They're left to do whatever they wanted.
It's terrible.
There was such a huge sprawling campus. There was no way to manage all of it.
Yeah,
there wasn't enough people to watch all that shit.
No, you're severely overpopulated.
Yeah,
like we said, you're like looking at a nurse to every, what was it, like 100 people?
Right.
Like it's insane.
Sign me up.
Right. Yeah.
But just to move along here, we have another sound clip here.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and drop this one in here too.
Drop it like it's hot.
You guys, this is the one where he says, fuck you.
Oh, okay.
So let's give that a listen.
Very polite.
And just to set this one up real quick a little bit more, you hear the lady say, why are you here? And this ghost says, fuck you. Like it's
like the cutest little fuck you ever.
An Elmo ghost.
Yeah.
It's a ghost that just learned how to cuss for the first time. They don't really emphasize the F very much, but
yeah.
Why are you here? Fuck you. Hold on a second.
Why did you do that?
Fuck you. Shut up, bitch.
It's like there's like no anger in the voice or anything.
Sounds kind of tired. Like he's fucking sick of people.
He's just sick of the shit.
Coming there.
Fuck you.
Here's another.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
So to follow up our complete and utter debacle right there, I have one that's going to scare your pants off.
I'm ready.
This is a patient screaming for help. He's losing his mind, and he's essentially, I think he's saying, please help me, or don't let them do this, I think is what they're saying. Don't let them do this.
Oh.
And after a quick check, he's saying, please don't hurt me.
Okay.
Please don't hurt me.
That's sad.
Please don't hurt my butthole.
Here it goes. You hear him just screaming?
Yeah. It's
pretty nasty, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't like it. I hate it.
And just to set this one up, they're trying to talk to someone named Jacob, who they believe is a soldier. And they're asking him all kinds of questions that upset him enough to where he says, get out. Get out.
They did do some volume enhancement
for
that, so be prepared. It's going to be a little bit louder. You'll be able to tell.
Are you the one Lily is afraid of?
My name's Bill Wilkins.
Do you talk to Jacob down here at all?
I like to play with Jacob, but then I slip and dod my own shit.
Were you in the Civil War?
Something about the Civil War. You can hear no right there,
Were you
too.
a soldier?
Oh, God.
No need to be rude.
Get out.
Out.
I'm not sure if he wanted them there or out. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So
I like that one. That was a fun one.
It was only a little bit spoopy.
Yeah, just a little bit spoopy.
I spooped some. Luckily, I'm wearing my Brohio spoop pants,
Hey.
so I can do all the spooping I want.
Yeah. We'll get you covered in those.
I am covered. Covered in spoop.
Oh, yeah.
But the also there's a nurse's station on the 3rd floor. It's home to an ex-member of the staff named Elizabeth, and occasionally her ghostly apparition is seen going about her business.
Pooping?
Yeah. She's just giving it her all. But they say that you can still see the nurse making her rounds, which we would call that a residual haunting. She's kind of just going through the motions, doing the same thing she was doing back then, just trying to help people.
Probably doesn't even know she's dead.
She doesn't know she's dead.
Nope.
She's looking for Ruth.
Yeah.
Walking around looking for James or Jacob. Old Dean. James Dean.
Ruth. I love Ruth. She's my favorite.
She's a filthy slut.
That's why I like her.
Yeah. So I think that concludes our episode here.
Yeah, it does.
This one was kind of a rough week for us.
Yeah, it was a super busy week.
We had to put all of the load on the shoulders of Julie and Courtney,
Which they do a marvelous job as
research
always.
assistants.
Yeah.
So today we pretty much just showed up and read.
Right.
We'll try harder next time.
We're not the real heroes here. They are.
They are the real heroes. Like we said, go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star review.
We would love you for that.
And
Even
if you
more.
think this episode sucked, just wait till next week.
Blame it on the girls.
Actually, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen next week.
No, we've kicked some ideas around, but once we figure out, we'll let you guys know.
Well, next weekend is Christmas. Right in the fucking...
Well, what?
Sunday, we record normally. Sunday's Christmas Eve.
Oh, shit, it is, isn't it?
Christmas is Monday.
We may have to adjust that a little bit.
I fucking hate Santa Claus, but...
Well, there may or may not be an episode next week.
Yeah. But we do appreciate you guys listening.
Thank you very much.
And we're going to do a quick Patreon
for
the $5 club.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We love you.